Friends, you have to start with the new topic, the meaning of the number having the index in the rational form m upon n. Previous lecture we saw the index is 1 upon n form. Here the index is in the form m upon n form. So, meaning of the number a raised to m upon n, meaning of the number a raised to m upon n is equal to, I will write a raised to m multiplied by 1 upon n. A raised to m upon n means a raised to m multiplied by n. I will write this as a raised to m multiplied by n. If you will do the multiplication of m multiplied by 1 upon n, at that time m ones are m, this will come m upon n. This m is called as the power. What you have to say? M is called as the power and 1 upon n is called as the root. What you have to say? This is called as the power. This one is called as the power. Power. And this one is called as the root. This one is called as the root. This a raised to m upon n is equal to a raised to m multiplied by 1 upon n. This m is called as the power and 1 upon n is called as the root. And this a raised to m upon n is divided into two forms, power of root and root of power. Means power of root or root of power, how you will read these things, that you have to see. Just concentrate here, a raised to m upon n. Here, if you will write the power upside, at that time this form is power of root. This is power and this one is root. So this you will say that this one is power of root. So first type is power of root and this one is the root. If you will write the root outside, at that time this one is the power of root, root of power. This one is called as the root of power. This 1 upon n is the root and this m is the power. So you have to say that this form is root of power and this form is power of root, because m is the power, 1 upon n is the root. If power is outside, at that time you have to say that power of root of a. And what you have to say? This one is the root of power of a. How you have to read, that you have to see. This a raised to m upon n is equal to a raised to 1 upon n raised to m. You will write this power outside, 1 upon n inside. At that time you have to say that this one is power of root. And how you have to read? I will say that this is power, so you have to say that mth power of. What you have to say? Mth power of nth root of a. How you have to read? Mth power of. Start with these outside things. Mth power of nth root of a, because m is the power, 1 upon n is the root. And you have to start with these things. M power of nth root of a. And if you want to read in the form of root of power, at that time this root you have to write first. This root you have to write first. 1 upon n. This root and this one is power. So how you have to read this? If you want to read, that time you have to say that this nth root of. What you have to say? Nth root of m power of. So read as nth root of m power of a. Nth root of m power of a. How you have to read this? Mth power of nth root of a. How you have to read this? Nth root of m power of a. Very simple. This a raised to m upon n, you will write this a raised to m upon n, you will write in two form. One is the power of root and second one is the root of power. Power of root, at that time power you will write here, and root of power you will write root here and power inside. If power of root, power is outside and root is inside. Root of power, root is outside and power is inside. How you have to read this? M power of nth root of a. How you have to read this? Nth root of m power of a. In this way you have to read these things. I will take this example. 8 raised to 2 upon 3. 8 raised to 2 upon 3 means 8 raised to 2 upon 3 means 2 multiplied by 1 upon 3. This one is called as the power. And this one is called as the root. This one is called as the root. And how you will write? In the form of the power of root, you will write this as, this is power of root, and this one is root of power. How you will read this? Square of. What you have to say? Square of cube root of 8. What you have to read? Square of cube root of 8. And how you have to read? Cube root of square of 8. Cube root of square of 8. Square of cube root of 8 and cube root of square of 8. In the same manner you have to read these things. Everybody understand? This a raised to m upon n type is divided into in the form power of root and root of power. This is the power, this one is the root, this one is the root, this one is the power. This is root of power, this is power of root. Everybody understand? Then you have to start with the exercise. Practice set 3.2. You have to write this number in the form power of root and root of power. So, if you want to write this in the form of power of root, at that time 225 you have to write as it is, 225. Base as it is. So, power of root you have to write, first of all you have to write this in root inside and power outside. Power outside. What you will say? Cube of. How you will read? Cube of square root of 225. Cube of or third power of square root of 225. Otherwise, how you will write? Third power of square root of 225 or cube of square root of 225. One and say. Everybody understand? You have to write this. Then you have to write root inside and power outside. 45. You have to write power root inside 1 upon 5. Power outside 4. At that time you will say that fourth power of fifth root of 45. This is power, fourth power of fifth root of 45. How you will write this? 81. You have to write the root inside 1 upon 7 root, 1 upon 7th root, 1 upon 7th root, power outside 6. How you will read? 6 power of 7th root of 81. 6 power of 7th root of 81. You have to read this. How you will read? 100 1 upon 10 raised to 4. This one is power, this one is root. How you have to read? Fourth power of, not fourth root. Fourth power of 10th root of 100. Then you have to write power outside. So root inside 21. This is the root and this one is power. So you will write this as cube of seventh root of 21. Everybody understand? Here this one is power, you have to write power outside in the power of root. This one is power, you have to write outside. 6 you have to write here. 4 you have to write here. Power you have to write here. This one is power of root. Now next type you have to write the root of power. So root of power means root you have to write outside. So 225. Power you have to write inside, root you have to write outside. Then here also you have to write the power inside, root outside. 45 raised to 4 raised to 1 upon 5. This you have to write power inside and root outside. 81 raised to 6 raised to 1 upon 7. Here 100 raised to 4 raised to 1 upon 10. And this you have to write root outside and power inside. 21 root you have to write outside. 1 upon 7. How you have to read? You have to say that root you have to read square root of cube of 225. Square root of cube of 225. Then how you have to read fifth root of fourth power of 45. How you have to read this? Seventh root of 6th power of 81. You have to read this. First of all, you have to read the root. 10th root of 4th power of 100. 4th power of 100. Then you have to read this. How you will read? Say 7th root of cube of 21. Seventh root of cube of 21. Everybody understand root of power and power of root?